want to be your moderator for today. I appreciate you all being here. I know it's a little bit late for some of you are. And so I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible. Today, we'll talk about some things that you may discuss in your normal conversations, some topics we discuss here you may not talk about every day. But today, we're paying you to talk about them, so bear with us. A couple of ground rules just so we can get through this in the next 90 minutes. We ask everyone to speak one at a time. Okay. We asked everyone to speak one at a time. If you have to go to the bathroom, just go. You don't have to ask or anything. Just mute yourself, go to the bathroom. The only thing we do ask is if you have to, is that everyone just go one at a time. If too many people leave at the same time, it disrupts the conversation. We kind of got to start over. Everyone's opinions are what. Can you go to mute when you're not speaking? I'm getting a lot of feedback.
All right.
There we go. In fact, before we get started, can everyone center your screen so that your head is right in the middle of the screen like mine is? Harrison, I'm cutting off the bottom of your screen. Terrell, I'm cutting off the bottom of yours. Can you bring that down a little bit? Perfect. There we go. Tyrell, bring yours down a little bit. I'm cutting off your chin. Your screen starting like right there at your lip. That's like, there we go. There we go. All right. So if you have to go to the bathroom, just go. If you need to take care of something around the house, just go. Speak one at a time. And I will bring some people in and out of the conversation just to make sure it's moving smoothly. That doesn't mean that one person's right and one person's wrong. It just means I need to make sure everyone's voices are represented equally. Some of us just talk more than others. You know who you are. So that's my job, is just to make sure that everyone's being represented here. And then the last thing I'll say is this is not a pop quiz. You don't get paid more or less for having the answer or not having the answer. In fact, some of the things that we talk about today, you may not have the answer. You may have never heard of these things. That's exactly what we want to know. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. I don't have a comment. I don't have an opinion about that because I've never heard of it. So with that, let's just jump into introductions. Just tell me your first name, where you're from, and in fact, first name, where you're from, and in fact, I'm going to ask you to fill in the blank as you go through with the introduction, and that's to answer the question, I feel blank about the way things are going in the country these days. So I would start. My name is Terrence. I'm calling from Washington, D.C., and I feel pretty pessimistic about the way things are going in the country these days. And I'll start with Andrew, and we'll just go in alphabetical order from there.
My name is Andrew. I'm calling from Snellville, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. I feel numb these days.
I'll come back and find out why you feel that way, but first let's go through the introductions. And I think we are going to Ken next. Or no, Harrison. I don't even know how to spell. Harrison, because H before K.
All right, how y'all doing? My name is Harrison. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. How I feel about the world today, it's going in a negative direction, and I just leave it like that.
Okay. Ken? Ken? Okay, I can't hear you.
Hi, I'm Ken. I'm from Cortesville, California. It's a suburb of Los Angeles, and I maybe have a little different perspective on things than the other guys do. I feel that things are they aren't going the best, but I think it's changing for better. Maybe there is some better, and maybe there isn't. But I'm okay with the report right now.
Okay, we'll find out why later. Jeffrey, I still don't get these letters wrong. Let's just Jeffrey.
No, that's all right. My name is Jeff. I'm located in Coconut Creek, Florida, and I'll say scary.
All right, who's next? I'm just gonna be wrong. Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark from Levittown, Pennsylvania. I'm a suburb right outside Philadelphia.
and I'm disgusted.
Okay. Michael?
Hello, Michael. I also live in Georgia, and I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting to see where this world's taking us right now. Yeah.
I fill in the blank. I feel blank about the way things are going in the country these days.
I feel neutral right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Terrell?
Yep, my name is Terrell. I'm from Wayne, Michigan. That's like right outside of Detroit, Michigan. And I feel ashamed the way the world is going now.
And Terrence, bring us on home. Good name, by the way.
Terrence, yeah, spelled right too. Name is Terrence. I am also in the Detroit area. I'm in Ypsilanti. I feel angry about the way the world's going right now. The country's going right now.
All right. From Detroit. Okay, so let's start with, I'm going to start with Ken and Michael, who were either positive or neutral. Why positive, Ken? What do you feel like is going in the right direction?
Well, I grew up in the South in Alabama as voting Democrat, as a liberal, and as life things evolved, I've kind of changed a bit. And I don't want to Trump, Biden. You can pick whoever you'd like to choose. At some point it doesn't really matter. But I believe that I've served this country, many military and other ways as well, and I believe that Americans should come first. We shouldn't. I don't care what color your skin or your ethnicity is. As Americans, we should come before anyone else. And I believe this administration now, who is the president, whether I like him or not, and I don't like everything he does, but I like the fact that he puts Americans first. And I think that there could be some good that comes out of it. Not everything is good, but there could be some good that comes out of it. And I'm just waiting, as someone else said, I'm just waiting to see how it turns out. I mean, on a big spectrum of things, we aren't going to make a huge difference anyway. I mean, they're going to do what they do anyway. Washington, they do what they do anyway. I mean, no point in getting stressed out over something you can't control.
Okay. Michael, why do you feel neutral?
So can you repeat the question so I'm clear on what I'm answering? What exactly you said that how I feel about the country as far as what?
I feel blank about. I feel your response was neutral. So it was really a sentence. I feel neutral about the way the country is going these days. Most folks gave some negative terms. Ken gave a more positive term, and yours was neutral. So I want to start with you about why do you feel neutral? Why do you?
Yeah, because I mean, when you say it gives the insinuation about that you're talking about what President Trump is doing. But I mean, if you're just saying just in general where the country is going, I mean, based on the people in the country. I mean, I'm an optimist, so I always want to think that things are going to be good regardless of who's in office or whatever. I mean, but I think it's things that could be fixed as far as health wise, you know what I mean? Just making, just helping people get their health together. And so I really haven't dove into the political scene like that, to be honest with you, because to me personally, I feel like a lot of things are done. It really doesn't matter who's in control, like who's the head, because they really not making a big difference. It's the people that make the difference, in my opinion.
Okay. And now everyone else gave more negative reactions, disgusted, ashamed, angry, negative. What is making you feel like that about the direction of the country?
Well, the crime, the way the prices are for everything now. I mean, bills are sky high, crime is up. I mean, you name it. It's just not going in the right direction, in my opinion.
Okay. Let me get one more person that gave a negative, either disgusted, ashamed, angry, or negative. One more person.
Okay. I'm disgusted because the direction that Trump's taking the country. When Ken was saying that, okay, well, he thinks Americans should come first. it seems like Trump doesn't, like, the president's supposed to represent everybody, Democrats and Republicans. It seems like he only wants to represent Republicans and people who voted for him. And if you didn't vote for him, he doesn't care about you, whether you're American or not. And he also seems to have an issue with color, because if his issue is, okay, well, he wants to get rid of all these Mexicans who are rapists and murderers, and he's going after the worst of the worst. But you never see ICE rolling up on gang members and all that stuff. They're going to Home Depot and schools and courtrooms and picking up laborers and people like that. And it's like he just puts a nice face on it, saying every time they talk about rapists and murderers, and then they just go after brown people, and that's all they're doing. And then then he says, okay, a lot of the people who support him, the white people who support him, they're saying, oh, well, if they're illegal, and that's what we care about. But you don't notice any white people getting picked up by ICE, or ICE going into white neighborhoods, rounding up people and sending them to El Salvador. I haven't seen any white people in cages in El Salvador. So to me, it's definitely a racial thing. And then so many of my friends that are white that I look around that would support somebody like that, I'm shocked that they know he's lying and cheating and doing all these things, and they're kind of looking the other way and acting like, well, okay, well, if you guys aren't going to say anything, I won't say anything. It's kind of like the emperor has no clothes on, and they're pretending like they don't see what's happening. So that's why I'm so disgusted.
Okay. All right. I know some other folks want to get in here. I promise we're going to get everybody in. For the sake of time, I have to move on. There's a couple of questions I'm going to drop up on the board, drop up on your screen. Jeffrey, you have a lot of feedback, man. When you're not speaking, I need you to go on mute. Something's happening with our audio that just it's a little loud. There we go. Thank you, brother. All right. I'm going to put a couple of questions on the screen. Answer them to the best of your ability. We'll come back and talk about them. While we do that, my colleagues are going to help me put the. Oh, okay. I see you guys are already getting there. It's on a scale of 0 to 10, so you may have to scroll down to get to the rest of the responses there. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
While you all are answering this question, I do want to just set one more ground rule, and that is that we all respect each other. We are all Black men here. Many of us voted in different ways. I know that based on your vote history. And we're going to talk a lot about politics that we may disagree with each other and disagree with who we voted on. I just want us to remain respectful and to share your opinion about what is happening, about what you're seeing and how it's impacting you and your community, and not necessarily your opinion about someone else's opinion. So let's see if we can jump on in here. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 responses with everybody. Looks like perceptions of 4 range anywhere from 0 to 6. I'm going to go to the next poll, and then I'm going to
Did you want us to answer?
say that one more time, Mark.
Did you want us to answer?
Yeah, and so the first question up there is how much political power do you believe you have on a scale of 0 to 10? The next question I'm going to put up here is how much political power do you think the Black community has? And I'll talk about both of them together. It looks the same. The difference is the first one is about how much political power you have, and the second one is about how much political power the Black community has. And so answer this one as well, and then I'll try to talk about both of them together. Group started at 8:30. By 9:15. All right. For some of the folks that didn't get in on the first question, I'm just going to ask what Terrence or Jeffrey or Andrew, how did you rate your personal political power versus the Black community's political power? Do you think one is greater than the other? Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Do you want us to say what number we rated it, or it doesn't matter? Well, for the community, if you want to talk about it. All right, for the community, I put 4 because I believe we definitely don't have that much power, especially in the community. because we already know, like for the first answer, I had put scary, and you could just know it's like common sense, some common sense situations. Like we should already understand as a human aspect that we are for us Black, that we are not really getting represented the right way. And even though we try to stop and make a voice about it, it's always a criticism about whatever we're doing, protesting or whatever. So I think that we're actually getting targeted, but in different aspects or different places around America. It depends on where you are. So I say in number 4. And right now, with the current president, really that's not showing no type of caring to certain type of people, especially us. Other people are seeing the example and following him by the way he's acting, and we definitely starting to see it now.
Okay. And Terrence, how did you reach your own political power versus the community's political power?
I put myself at a 6. I put the community at a 4. I think for myself at a 6, I think the power is being taken out of my hands purposely, not just by 47, but by all the people that put them in position. Yes, it goes from the top down, but there are people who put him in that position. On the community, I put a 4 because I just don't think we're educated enough. I don't think we care enough. I think we're more concerned about what's going on TikTok or on America's Got Talent than we are what's going on with our leaders and political appointees and the leaders that we vote, or a lot of us don't vote to put into office. So I don't think we do enough. And I think, that we would do ourselves a whole lot more, give us a whole lot more purpose if we would actually take care of ourselves and our people and stop sitting around waiting for somebody else to do it for us.
Okay, that's a lot of what we're going to talk about here today. I'm going to put one more. We're going to talk a lot about what we can do for ourselves. I'm going to put one more poll up on the board. Then I want to get to some issues. I think I may have missed one poll here around vote likelihood. How likely are you to vote in the 2026 midterm election? A 0 means that you definitely won't vote. A 10 means you definitely will vote. Use any number between 0 and 10. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I'm waiting for 2 more answers. All right. Okay. Everybody is a 9 or a 10. Definitely going to vote in the next election. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But before we do, I want to turn to issues. Building off of what you've been talking about, some of how you've been feeling about the direction of the country. What are the top issues that you're concerned about these days? You can say more than one, but everybody has to say at least one.
Prices.
Okay.
Terrell brought it up as crime, inflation, prices. It's everything. It's housing, things that we never, had to experience in this lifetime. It's just, I think that things are going okay, but I think that they can be a lot better. And that's across both party lines.
Right.
Okay. Harrison, let me get you in here. So far, I got housing, prices, crime. Anything that you're concerned about that's not on this list?
I'm gonna go with the youth, the young Black men out here committing crimes, and they're not committing like little itsy bitsy crimes. They're committing I'm talking about some serious
felonies
crimes out here, like some stuff I never thought about doing when I was their age. Seriously, it's unbelievable what the crimes they be committing and how they be scheming to do it, and then when they get caught, they won't cry till they mind me. So
right.
Man, it's real. It's real out
there. And what about you, Tyrell?
Like I said earlier, the crime, the prices for everything, the way the world is going, it's just not going the right way it should be. Like Harrison said, like the young Black men think it's it's cool to just be in the streets robbing people and doing whatever they want.
All right. Any other issues? So far I have housing prices, crime, young black men. Any other issues not on this list that are concerning? Go ahead, Mark.
Mine is Trump stealing all the power. We're supposed to have three separate units of power, and Trump's based, like the Republicans, they're basically giving all their power, so there's no checks on the executive branch. So he's taking all of it, and and then they're changing the rules so that I don't know where things are headed, because like the way they're just changing the rules, he may not even be able to be voted out. We might not have an election in 4 years at the rate things are going.
Yeah, I agree with that. Overreach and lots of deregulation, which it doesn't seem to be helping the community. Breaking down and dismantling the Department of Education seems like a ridiculous notion. That's the way you keep people uneducated, and that's how you keep control of people.
All right, I'm gonna read this list one more time, and then Andrew, I was just about to come to you. Go ahead, man.
For me, it's the social attack. It's the social attack. The attack of personalities. I can remember other presidents celebrating other members that are not may not necessarily ideology. Their ideology may not be the same, but this gross tacky just smear campaign. I've never seen a president from the White House hit a former president and a talk show host in the same sentence. I think it's ridiculous. I think it is not presidential, and I think we are in a slippery slope, because the crazy that we allow now will be the measuring stick for later.
All right, I got a good list here. I know some other folks want to get in, but I got a lot to talk to you brothers about, so I got to keep moving. I'm going to put another poll up on the board on your screen. And this time I want you to give a letter grade. Did I skip something? Yeah, this time I want you to give a letter grade. How do you think Democrats are doing if you had to give them a grade between an A and an F? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Okay. Everyone gave between a C and an F. So I want to start with Terrence and Terrence. Why an F?
They're invisible. There are a couple of outliers, but there's just not enough of them to really make a difference. AOC out there isn't enough. Rashida Tlaib isn't enough. You need more people who are fighters and aren't complicit in just writing very strongly worded letters to the president to get him to stop doing something, or to Congress. It doesn't do enough. You want to get out with the people, with the constituents, and actually keep them educated and affect change.
And Mark, why a C?
Hey, I gave a C because a lot of people are saying, okay, well, the Democrats aren't doing enough. Well, they have no power. They can't do anything. Right. It's just like the situation that came up with this, what they're doing in Texas right now. Like they try and stop and say, okay, well, we'll leave the state. Well, then they change the rules and say, okay, well, we're going to arrest you if you leave the state. We're going to arrest you if you do this. We're going to lock you in the thing. So they're doing what they can do, but they have no power. So
right.
And then Harrison, you also gave Democrats an F.
Yeah, I gave them an F because they don't talk for the American people. They're always talking about money this, money that, money this, money that. They're never talking about the crisis that is at hand. They're always talking about money, pushing money to this state, pushing money there. So they're never really talking about pushing the American people forward in a positive direction. But
okay.
So that's the way I feel. That's why I gave them my F.
Okay. All right. No, notably, nobody gave them an A or a B. So everyone's either, either they just passing or they're failing. Let's do the next one. What letter grade would you give Republicans? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm still missing one. There we go. All right. 3 C's and 5 F's. Again, nobody's getting an A or a B. Why? Let's go with you, Terrell. Why'd you give Republicans an F? And I'm gonna come to you next, Jeff.
Well, look at the economy. I mean, everything they're doing I think they're doing it the wrong way. And if they ask for more help from us, the Democrats, then maybe we can get this world under control. But until then, if the Republicans gonna take control and do everything they're doing now, this world is not going to look good in the future.
Thank you, Jeff.
I gave him a C because
say what letter you gave them and why you gave that letter.
Yeah, I gave him a C because I'm definitely not giving him an A. I'm definitely not giving him a B. And the reason I gave him a C because I see lately on the case, I think is the Jeffrey Epstein case, and I see majority of them like they want to know what's on that file. They want to know. I see some of them does have morals, and we understand they do have their boss is like a big bully, a bulldog, and majority of them following them because a lot of them just want to stay in office because if they go against them, they'll be voted out of office. So I give them a C because a couple files like the Jeff Epstein, some of them want to hear about it. Some of them are saying some things about the immigration status, saying it's kind of wrong, doing this to certain people, but not all of them. It's some of them. So yeah, that's why I gave them a C.
All right, last one. What letter grade would you give the President of the United States? That's the last one. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Right. 6 F's, 1 B, and 1 C. I'm curious from someone that why you give him a B, Ken?
Because he's doing everything he said he'd do. But he's also doing things that he said he wouldn't do. He can't get an A. And like I said, I'm okay with the way things are going. Some of the things I'm not. But he's doing everything that he said he'd do. He said that while he was primarying and up through the process. But he's also doing some things that he said he wouldn't do, which that I don't find very popular. I'm not happy with.
Okay, and then what about Michael? Why a C?
Yeah, this was tough because I was really wanted to go F. my first mind said F, but just reflecting on what he's doing, even though I really don't like him as a person, I felt like the last time he was in office, the economy was a lot better. I've never seen a president give money away, like a stimulus when he did the stimulus check. So I was like, man, even though you don't like a person, he may be doing things that may be in the best interest of the country and helping people financially, So, I know it's a challenging position to be in, being over a whole country that's supposed to be the greatest country on earth. So, and it's like not like he's been in office that long to be effective at this point. But I mean, I know he's done a lot, you know, and he kind of destabilized a lot you know, the first time he was in office. But I'm not sure if the Kamala would have done any better. I know Trump is a little drastic at times, you know, with how he moves with things. But, you know, I really didn't see where Kamala seemed invisible to me when she was the vice president. I didn't even see one thing that she really did like that, in my opinion. So, you know,
Okay.
I don't know, you know. So if he can get the economy together, he all right with me.
And
Yeah.
Jeff, last one. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm cutting you guys off. I'm just I got to keep us moving. But I hear you, Michael. I appreciate that. Jeff, last one. Why'd you give him an F?
Because some of the promises, you know, like he said, you know, like Terrell was saying, prices are high, things are still high, and he said he's doing it for the American people. I know he's a businessman, he's negotiating, you know, tariffs and stuff like that, but sometimes the ego get in the way, and you know, the pride get in the way, and when it does get in the way, it affects us, you know, and just for as be truthful to what you're doing. Like every last time he was in office, it was so much things going on about him with the arrest and this and that. It's like he never could stop. It's always on the war thing, and it's you know, not saying, hey, I messed up, you know, American people, I could have did better, or none of that, you know. Just, you know, he's right all the time and stuff of that nature. And that just disgusts me, man. Like nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Like I haven't never seen that side of him to say, hey, we're gonna get this right. You know, Democrats, Republicans, let's get together. It's just my way or the highway, and that don't work.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm gonna put up another poll on the board. This one, I'm gonna ask you all to just pick the one that best reflects how you feel about the way things are going in the country these days. I'm gonna step away real quick and actually not to talk about it when I get back. There are 4 different options here. Pick the one that you think best describes you. All right, I see people still filling it in. Don't miss that 4th option down there. It's kind of cut off a little bit. You may have to scroll depending on how big your screen is, but there should be 4 options.
I'm gonna grab my glasses.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm missing one more. I can't text Mark, Jeffrey, Terrell. All right. Why the folks that chose the first one, things are under attack, and we must be willing to do everything we can to resist and fight back. Why do you feel that way, Terrence, Andrew, Michael, or Mark?
Okay.
We must resist and fight back.
Okay, the reason I feel that way is I think Trump sees himself, he wants to be like Putin or the guy over in, either South Korea or North Korea, where he just wants all the power. And it's like, right now, I think he's angling for a 3rd term if he thinks he can get it. Like he's floating that out there, acting like he's joking around. But usually when he does stuff, he floats it out there to see, and then if things go bad, he says, oh, well, I'm just joking around, because everybody says, okay, oh, well, Trump says what he means and means what he says. And then he'll say stuff, and then it could sound crazy. And then if things go bad, they'll say, oh, he was joking. He was being sarcastic. But then if it happens to work out, then he'll say, they'll say, "Oh, well, Trump said he was going to do it, and he does what he says he's going to do." So like I said, he's taking all the power, and I think we're not going to recognize the country if we can't win this next election and at least get Congress or somebody to put a check on his power. I think we're going to be so screwed.
Andrew, why do you think it's important that we do everything we can to resist and fight back?
I feel like the country is for sale again. I feel like he doesn't have anything to really worry about because he's pilfering it. I think you dismantle everything and then you give contracts. That's why you can threaten Elon to be quiet or else we'll see should you be here. It's very, I think he is dismantling it not to save the American people anything because the prices haven't gone down. I think what he's done is he's dismantling it so it can be pilfered, it could be recontracted, it can be taken and put in the hands of people who necessarily don't look like us, and they won't look like us because the ones that look like us didn't get put in office by him.
Last one, Harrison. Why do you say the things I care about are under attack, but I must focus on myself and the things I can control? Why is that more important than fighting back?
Well, the reason why I say that, first of all, how do you put a president how do American people vote for a president with 34 felonies, 36, 37 felonies? That's one. Here, me as a black man, they got black men, black people of color out here with one felony, can't even get a goddamn job at goddamn Popeyes. So that would leave that alone. I don't get my blood pressure up. So I am I'm in control of my destiny right now. I can't control what this racist this racist person does in control. That's all he wanted anyway, was control, power. He already got money. So when American people voted him office and gave him power, trust me, he's gonna run with it. And exactly that's what he's doing each and every day we live. While we sleeping, he's scheming on what else he can control. He already controlling the Mexicans, what they can do, if they can stay or leave. Man, leave them people alone. They don't mess with nobody. They've been in my house, remodeling my house for 2 weeks. Them people ain't cursed, don't did nothing. Speak and do their job and mind their business. What are you messing with them for? Leave people alone. But
Harrison,
that's out my control. That's out my control. I control Harrison Rogers' destiny, and I'm good with it. It's out my control.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I want to hear what all of you have to say about this question, but I have to move on for the sake of time. But we're going to continue to talk a little bit about fighting back, resisting, opposition, whatever you want to call it. But when you think about this political moment, what does political resistance look like? What does it look like to resist the things that you disagree with?
I think it's know your rights, and when you see them being trampled on, speak up. If you see someone else's rights being trampled on, speak up. I think that's fundamentally what's happening, is that they're trying to see how far they can go to take away our rights, and then it's business as usual for them. We haven't had them for that long. To go off of just what we were talking about before, we haven't had our rights the way we have them now for more than 2 generations. So why on earth would you give it back? I don't understand that.
What about you, Mark? When you think about resisting, you've expressed some pretty strong feelings about, what you think about what's happening right now. What does it look like to resist and fight back?
I'm not even sure, because basically I'm thinking because everybody's getting cut off. Trump's cutting off everybody, so I guess the most resistance we can do is support the Democratic politicians that are trying to fight back. Like, they have the power, or the most of the power. They don't have as much as the Republicans, so it's hard for them to resist. But at least, like, a perfect example would be what's going on in California. I like that because at least.
Mark, I'm sorry. Can you give what do you mean? What's happening in California for folks that may not know?
Okay. Yeah. With Newsom trying to change the situation. Well, first I'll go to Texas. Texas, they're trying to gerrymander Texas so they can pick up 5 more seats. So now Newsom in California is saying, okay, well, if you're going to do that in Texas, we're going to do that in California. But in Texas, they don't have to vote on it. They just do it. But in California, they have to have the people vote on it first in order for him to be able to gerrymander the maps to do exactly what the Republicans are doing in Texas. So, but that's something where, okay, we're fighting back. So they're saying that a lot of the people in California, they're kind of wishy-washy on it, and they're not sure if they have enough votes to get that to pass. And I'm like, what are you doing? You see what's going on in Texas? You have to fight back. And so at least Newsom's starting to fight back. And so I really like that.
Does anybody think that that's a good way to fight back? If Republican states are going to redistrict, then Democratic states should do the same thing. Is that a good way of fighting back politically? Show of hands.
Well, in between. I don't think it's ideal to fight, to stoop to their level, but there's not much choice.
There's a crisis at this point.
For me, I believe that I think we just need that. I think we need to do just that. I think that Maya Angelou said, when somebody show you they don't like you, believe them. And they've showed that they don't care. And if they don't care, we have to care more about getting our. So I think that what resistance looks like to me is we just saw the Target guy have to step down, and it is exciting. It's because of this. And we like to, as Democrats, be focused on one thing or two things and just go here. And we got to line up, and because Republicans line up, they line up. Half of them don't believe some of the and don't have the energy towards some of the racist things that this man says that he does, and the people that are backing him that are the loudest in that party. But they go along with it, and for some reason we have these great voices as Democrats, but we don't. We have apathy at the polls. We don't show up because it's just not exciting. And then we get caught up in social issues, and we don't have a beacon like the church anymore. The church used to be a beacon. We looked at that church and Dr. King, and we saw a beacon of which way we needed to move and how we need to move. We don't have a beacon anymore. And it's just, and we're divided on cultural and social issues that just, it's dividing us.
I want to bring Ken and Michael back in here. You guys gave the president, higher marks than some of the other guys here, which means you support some of what he's doing. If you disagree with what he's doing or recognize that something he's doing hurts you or your community, do you think it's important to resist, even if you voted for him, to resist things that could hurt you or your community?
I believe that resistance goes on deaf ears. I mean, I've worked with politicians. Now they're voted. There no term limits, and depending on where you are, and they have no respect for the voter. They were talking about black voters. I'm 4 generations from being a slave myself, right? My great grandfather was a slave, okay, from Alabama. So I kind of know how what we had back, they achieved over the years, and we Democrats used to take it for granted, and we given it all. Everyone in and bring them in our circle. We have to take care of each other first, Immigrants are fine. That's fine. But we have to take care of each other. If we don't do that, we have nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, Trump's not perfect at all. I mean, but he's, to me, at least he's doing something. That's why I stand with him. I don't stand with him, but I like some of the things he's doing. He's doing something. I mean, I don't wake up and agree with everything he says. And if I watch CNN, Fox, and all of those, I mean, my blood pressure would be through the roof like someone said. So you have to let that go sometimes and control what you can control,
Who is thinking about the political resistance since Trump has been reelected? Who is resisting? Who would you say who's fighting back?
You mean of a political leader who's fighting back?
Who sees what the federal government is doing and does something to fight back? That could be politically anybody. Who do you see out here trying to fight back?
I'll say just what Mark was talking about, California.
You all hear Jeffrey, or is it just me?
I can hear it.
Try it now.
I'll say what Mark was talking about. Good example of Lucent in California, what he's doing. he changed the game. He's changing it. We ain't never seen a Democrat fight them with their own playbook. You know, we usually be like, oh, okay, we turn our back. We try to do a nice way. But I believe if they're doing it that way, we're gonna do it that way. And I believe they didn't see it coming when what they did. So I believe you know, I'm young. I don't know, I'm probably the youngest one on the panel. But for me, what he did, I was like, yes, finally somebody standing up. Finally, I see something instead of just, you know, trying to do something that we always been doing since Obama been in office. Like we just been sitting on our hands. We haven't changed the playbook. We have the same thing going on. It started to get boring, you know, and it was to a point I started even removing myself from Democrat. I went independent, you know, like whoever is better for my household, whatever could help me out, that's where I'm you know, that's where I'm at. So I was like I was on a neutral.
I appreciate it. Gavin Newsom is fighting. Who else? Show of hands if you think Gavin Newsom is fighting back. Whether you agree with what he's doing or not, do you think he's fighting back?
Let me say something about that. Gavin Newsom in California, 40% of the voters, we don't agree with Gavin Newsom. Our system of voting here is a little different than most places. They count votes for like 3 weeks after the polls are closed here. It's totally different. Most of us don't agree with Gavin Newsom, even on both sides.
Well, I gotta say, Ken, as a pollster myself, 40% is not most.
No, it's not. It's not most, but it's
the same. Most of us don't agree. It's not the same as 40%. That is not true.
I agree.
And then
most do agree. Some don't agree. Okay.
And one thing.
Let me keep go ahead, Mark. But can you answer my question? Who is fighting for you? Who is fighting back?
AOC also. One of the things about that question in California, when they say, do you agree with what they're doing in California? I don't agree that I want that to happen. So depending on how they're asking the question, I'm glad we're doing it to fight what they're doing in Texas. But if I wish nobody was doing it. So I don't agree with that process, but I agree that we're doing it now to get back what they're doing.
Okay. Michael, who is fighting back and who should be?
I'm not sure who's fighting back. I think just looking at the political climate in the United States and what's all going on right now, I mean, I think it's terrible, you know, about how they deporting the different Hispanic folks who help build the country. But I think a lot of these things make a sign for us to maybe look external and maybe consider leaving America and living somewhere else. I mean, because if you're in a place that really doesn't like you or don't appreciate you, or you help build, and then you're not really considered a 100% citizen in that country, then maybe we should all look external. I've seen a lot of my friends and different people moving out of the country, moving to Africa, moving to Dominican Republic, and, moving to Thailand and different places. And, I recently watched a documentary about the Katrina travesty, and it was heartbreaking, just seeing the real, what happened there. You know what I mean? We just saw certain things, but maybe it's just a sign for us to consider relocating, so that's my opinion.
I really do want to dig into that, but unfortunately I got to get through. I want to dig into where should we go, but I'm gonna come back if I have time. I just want to ask this question one more time to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Is there anyone else that we want to add to our list of people, organizations, groups that are fighting? So far, all I have is Gavin Newsom and AOC.
I think sorry.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Mine's quick. I think the people at the Midas Touch, at least from a media standpoint, they're putting out a lot of opposition to the what's being flooded from Fox News and from some of those the really right wing outlets for media.
All right. Is there anyone that should be fighting back? Is there anyone that you look at and say they should be fighting back and they are not doing enough?
I was ticked off that Schumer, when we had a chance to, I think it was to shut things down the last time, everybody wanted to do it, and then he's the one who messed it up, and Trump was able to pass. I forget exactly what the situation was. It might have been a debt ceiling or something like that, but Schumer messed that up. I was ticked about that.
Yeah,
Anybody
ACLU
else
fighting
outside
back.
of political leaders? Do entertainers, influencers, past religious leaders, does anyone else have a responsibility to fight back that you think should be doing more?
NAACP, ACLU, you can go on and on with those nonprofit organizations. They should be at the front of all of this, you know.
Journalists.
I don't hear them doing a lot out there.
What I was going to
journalists.
say,
Sorry.
I was going to say the Latinos for Trump, like the Latin celebrities and who their leaders are. I would have liked to see them fight back more, especially before the election, because you saw so many Latinos jumping around there singing for Trump and all this stuff, and then when they're getting deported, they're crying and their wives are getting deported.
Hold on 1 second, Tyrell. 1 second, Tyrell. I know you're just agreeing, but every time you do that, it's going to interrupt my transcript. So just let them finish.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I would like to see them be more visible, and because like you hear about the Republicans are bragging about how they're getting so much Latino support, and I'm like, those people are going to get it the worst. So now black people are kind of laughing at them, thinking like, F around and find out. But I think that we're next, so we can't laugh, because if they can sit up there and just vilify them and just put videos of them robbing and saying they're bad people, they're criminals, you got to get rid of them. We're next, so
all right,
you got to be careful.
That's a good list. I appreciate it, folks. I'm gonna switch a little bit here. We talked about what other people are doing to resist. What have you done to fight back or resist actions that you disagree with from the federal government? What have you done, or what could you do?
Well, back when Doge was prevalent, because they're not gone, I definitely went out and protested that, because I don't understand how an outside agency that's not vetted by the Congress can just go into all of our personal information, and they went through all of our personal information and had access to that. I mean, who has it now? We have no idea, but here we are, just sitting here. So I
Okay, so you participated in some protests. Has anybody else participated in any type of protest since the recent election? I'm sorry, since Trump has been president? Participate in protests. Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
I don't want to seem like I'm dominating things too much or talking too much, but
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't protest, but I've been posting a lot on Facebook and Twitter, and so probably some people think that I'm posting too much, but I know a lot of people don't watch the news or don't know what's going on. So at least on my feed, they're going to find out some of the stuff that's going on, and maybe it'll get them to think about it. And if they don't watch the news, that might be the only source. If they're only watching Fox News, at least they get to hear what's really happening, at least on my page. And if they want to argue with me, okay, then we can do that.
Has anybody else been doing that? Show of hands, just posting more and more information to keep people informed about what's happening. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Anything else?
I've been trolling a little bit. I will say that. I've been trolling because for me, I think I just had to take kind of a break from it because I read my news. I do not listen to the news. I don't need nuances. I need facts. I need things I can search. I need other verifiable sources, period. And, so I don't read it. I don't consume it from a standpoint of someone telling me their perspective. I like to look at a lot of different perspectives. I've been trolling a lot, just a lot. I mean, a little, because I just don't necessarily want them coming on my page because I have a small business and I had someone to come on my page and I had to do a little bit to get them off of my business page from my trolling. So I just set up a different account and started trolling over there. That doesn't connect directly to my business.
Okay. I asked you a little bit about what organizations are fighting back, and some people gave me a list: NAACP, ACLU, and others. What should those kinds of organizations be doing? What should they do?
Maybe do more marches and protests and put more information out there on the internet and just make their voices heard more.
Okay.
They
Anything
should
else
buy-
that you would like
they
to
should-
see these kind of groups doing?
They should buy more media time and figure out how to market things on social media and on regular media, and help to begin to start a cause of some sort, so that people kind of hear this voice out there that says, hey, even though we all feel it, it's not right what's happening right now, but it gives you that point of identification. So I just think more advertisement, more social media advertisement, more good businesses that stand up and say, hey, you know, this is what's happening in our world. Is just not great, and we're with you, and we feel it with you.
And if these organizations were going to be, you know, if these organizations, for instance, were going to listen to you all's remarks later, what would you want to tell them? I need to see you do more of this kind of stuff to fight back. What would you want them to hear? What would you want to tell them to do?
I'd say, go ahead.
1 second, Mark. Let's go to Jeffrey.
I would say more media. More media. I see a lot of the Republicans are doing a lot of podcasts, sitting down with podcasters and stuff, but I don't see a lot of those organizations or those people sitting down, because everybody's on their phone. They're listening to a podcast. They're strolling, but more of that media to get more attention. You know, because like I see a lot of them on Joe Rogan. You know, he's a hot influencer and he has a lot of views. You know, I don't see enough like Democrats and those organizations on other people's podcasts to push out the message.
Some of those organizations, I don't think people know who they are anymore, because they don't state who they are, what they stand for. They need to flood, like you said, with their advertising. I don't know if people really know what ACLU stands for, what ACLU stands for. First, they just the letters, but then also who they support and why, and reflect that they look like you and me and other people in America, so that people can start to resonate who they are, instead of just, you know, I joined last year around election time, and now all I get is, hey, can you donate more? Can you give me more money? And it's the same thing as the Democratic Party. I'm like, I gave you money. I will give you more money, but you don't have to constantly have your hand out asking for money from me when I need you out there. And I understand that it costs money to support people, and I understand it costs money to go to court and all of that. But you know, there has to be more of an effort, I guess, to get out there and show me what you're doing more before I'm going to reach in my pocket in the first place.
That's good. It's all good feedback. All right, two more questions, and I got to go to the next poll. What are Black people doing collectively? Actually, what you're doing personally, but as a community, what are Black people doing to fight back? And should we be doing more collectively?
I know from my church standpoint, we are doing a lot of stuff as it relates to in our local government, and also at our federal level too. We're very active in our community as it relates to marching. We'll take 100 men down to the Capitol, right? Things of that nature. We do things like on those levels, as well as we have to feed the needs of our community at the same time. We give out groceries every other week through drive-through, and I think what we got to get our young people motivated in this process, and we're going to have to figure out how to do it on their terms and on their level. You can't say, come do this, and then you got to do it this way. They are not listening to that, just like we didn't listen to some of our elders. So we got to grow up and get smarter about how to we got to get them activated, because it's apathy. They're stuck in social media what's that crap? Excuse me. What's that? They stuck in that Zeus world, you know, and it's fodder.
Okay. Let me get one more person on this. What are Black people doing collectively to resist, and what should we be doing more of? I'm sorry. And the question is, should we be doing more? Not what should we be doing, but should we be doing more at all?
One thing I'm thinking is that we're not.
Jeffrey, go to mute for me. Go ahead, man.
Okay. One thing I'm thinking is that we're not doing enough. And my fear is that, like I said, that I think we're sitting back and we're waiting, and then after Trump comes for us, then we're all going to jump up and want to start doing stuff. Then I think it's going to be too late then. And so that's my big fear. Is like right now we're kind of like, oh well, he's not coming after us, and so we don't like it, but we're not really doing anything about it. And I think when he comes for us, we'll do more than the Latinos did, and we'll fight back more than them. But like I said, he's going to already have the plan, the playbook down. He's going to already know that, okay, what he can get away with, and he will have already done it before. And so, and because he's done all this in 6 months, that's the thing I can't believe. He's done all this in 6 months. Imagine he's got 3.5 years to still come after everybody else. That's crazy.
All right, I'm going to put up another poll on the screen. This one is going to ask you the question. Here's a list of actions that others have taken. That other people have taken to resist. Select all of the actions that you think are a good way to resist government actions. Select as many as you want and make sure you, select as many as you want. Which of these are good ways to resist government actions? Even if you don't think that this government should be resisted at all, in the event that we had to resist the government, these are some good actions that could be taken.
Can you define mutual aid funds?
Yes, mutual aid funds are organizations that provide aid and services to the community, like food banks, community learning, community cleanup, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
I think ACLU might be considered a mutual benefit. Select all of the ones that you can select, as many as you want. I promise I'm not going to ask you to do any of these things if you choose them. All right. All right, Michael, which one of these do you think represent good ways to, in fact, which one of these do you think represent good ways to fight back against a government that are taking actions that you disagree with?
Man, I forgot what was up there. Is there any way I can see what was up there? Can you put it?
Yeah, I might do too.
I'm sorry. All right. Because I was just trying to figure out what I put on there. I mean, definitely voting. I think that
voting is a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you get to put somebody in there who you think has your best interests at hand. And posting political information on social media just to make sure people are aware of what's going on in the country, So those two things I definitely think help a lot.
Are there ways to resist or fight back against government actions that should be on this list that aren't? I heard somebody talk earlier about boycotts, boycotting companies.
Absolutely, boycott companies. Definitely.
Is there anything else like that? Anything else like that should be on this list of things that we could do that aren't listed here?
I had to think about this sometimes.
Think about it.
All right.
Anybody else? Okay. I'm going to put another list on the screen. It's going to look very, very similar, except this time it's asking, which of these have you actually done in the last year? Okay. I'm going to show you this list again, show you the results. Did everybody, I'm sorry, I meant to ask it. Was everybody done selecting? Can you keep selecting? All right, select all apply. My question now is, there were a lot more selections on the previous screen of things that we thought would be a good idea versus things that we've actually done. And what is that gap? Why haven't we done some of these things that we think? What is preventing us from participating in some of these resistance activities?
Well, the cost of everything, you can't really donate to, help other people out, when we're struggling ourselves,
Yep. Okay. Cost. Anything else?
The difference between the two for me is I checked all of them on the first, and the second one I didn't check donating to a political party. I prefer the candidate than the party. I don't know where that money's going with the party. And actually, the candidate has to also give some money to the party too, but I'd rather go through them first.
Let me ask a broader question. What do you think is preventing more Black people, not just you? What is preventing more Black people from participating in these in resistance activities or fighting back against the government?
They're afraid.
Of what?
What happened if they do go against a certain group or a president or a party?
Okay.
I think there's apathy. They don't think anything's going to change whether they do it or
Right.
don't.
I think
Their
there's
voice not
distraction.
being heard.
It's a good list.
A lot of people think their vote doesn't matter, really, that one vote won't matter, so they just don't do it.
I think it's distraction. I think they are so distracted by everything from good things like life, as we should be, to TV, social media, reality. I think there's a whole generation group there that is just missing out on the whole process unless they live like at home with mother. Like a few of my friends have their older grown kids that still live with them, so they know they have to go vote. But what about those ones that are out there that are just, they working at this place and it don't affect them? It's not in their music. It's not on the Breakfast Club like it should be. It's not in wherever their vision is. They're distracted from all of it.
Anybody else? What is preventing more of us from participating in resistance activity?
Being informed as to what else is out there that they can do.
Just not knowing what they can do to resist. Can I ask one question about this word resistance? Is it better to just say fight back against the government than it is to say resist against? Like, is it a language thing, you think? Does resistance mean fight back?
Kind of. I like fight back better.
Which one would you rather do, resist or fight back?
Fight back.
Fight back.
Yeah, I'm kind of a fight the power generation kind of guy myself.
Fight the power.
To me, they're both pretty much about the same, but I could see where, like, somebody could have a negative reaction to resist because like you always think about police, like stop resisting, and like they're doing stuff. So somebody could have a negative reaction to, like, they might think that resist is a negative, like you're going against authority.
Yeah. Or you're just holding ground and not fighting back. Resisting means you can withstand things, it feels like, to a certain extent. Fighting back, you've had enough.
Yeah, you're more offensive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you what are some things that this administration has done to impact the economy.
Tariffs are people just got laid off from my company last week, and it is a direct correlation to tariffs. We're a global company. We get tariffs coming and going, and there's nothing you can do. You can't just take that. You have to pass that on to the customer at some point, and that's what's happening.
Anything else? What has this administration done to hurt the economy, to hurt your economy, or to hurt Black people in the economy?
There's so many people who have lost, like when Doge came in and they started taking all these jobs away from the IRS and all these people. And I would love to see the faces on certain people who voted for Trump and like, what do you mean I'm losing my job? What do you mean they're eliminating me? And like, they were all happy when they thought it was only going to affect Mexicans and Latinos. And now when he came after their jobs and he's letting Elon Musk just do whatever he wants. And now they're like thinking, okay, well, somebody stop him. Well, there's nobody to stop him now. So I would love to see some reactions to that.
Anything else? Any other specific examples of things that this administration may have done to hurt either your economy, your economic conditions, or the country's economic conditions?
It's hurt small businesses.
Small businesses, tariffs.
He's hurt us with these tariffs because the cost of doing business is very difficult for me at the moment, and I have to be more selective. And I can't take sometimes I can't take as many. I can't give a hand up as much as I used to be able to, and I think that he's hurting small businesses. I don't want to hand out. I want you to fix this. I want you to spend as much time playing chess in Israel with and Ukraine with fixing the American supply chain, fixing the medical supply chain, fix the cost, get off all of this political stuff and chasing transsexuals and go fix the damn cost. And so get off the culture wars. And if you're going to be this, if you're this great businessman, so go and win friends and influence people, but just get off the culture stuff and go fix this cost. You know, you fix this cost. You fix me. You set me as a independent leaning Democrat at the moment. You showed me. You will show me. You fix these costs. You'll show me. You'll fix me. You'll close my mouth and you will own the libs.
Agriculture.
Here, tourism too.
Yeah.
Like I hear that Las Vegas is like really has lost a lot, and a lot in Canada. People from Canada are saying they're not coming here. Disneyland, a lot of people don't want to go there. So, and the cost of the tariffs hasn't really hit yet. Like, because a lot of the CEOs have been trying to keep that off because Trump's been making them, but they can only keep it off for so long before their shareholders are going to come after them. So the cost of the tariffs is probably going to actually start to hit us in the next couple months.
It's
already hitting us.
Yeah.
It's here
Okay,
already.
so let me keep us moving here, Jeff. Harrison, I'm going to come to you next. In fact, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of things that others have said this administration has done that might hurt the economy. And I want you to just rate how concerned you are about some of these. If they don't concern you at all, or you don't think that they will hurt the economy at all, then rate it low. If you think that it may hurt the economy, then rate it high. The administration is cutting nearly $1 trillion from Medicaid over 10 years, which will disproportionately affect Black youth, 60% of whom rely on Medicaid or CHIP. The cuts threaten essential care for millions of Black families, even those not on Medicaid, as emergency rooms will fill up with people who are delayed regular care. How concerned are you about this? A 0 means that you're not concerned at all. A 10 means that you are very concerned. You can use any number between 0 and 10. The screen goes down to 10, even if you can only see it up to 5. How concerned are you about Medicaid cuts?
I'll say a 10.
Okay. Harrison, I'm gonna come to you first. Why are you concerned about this?
I'm concerned because we got a lot.
I'm sorry, Harrison. I'm so sorry. Did you know about this?
Yes,
And then why are you concerned?
I'm up there. I'm up to par. Everything we talking about, I read every day. I'm concerned because they have a lot of single Black mothers out here that's going to lose their benefits to raise their kids. Sending them to daycare, buying milk from WIC and all these situations. So it's going to really affect a lot of single Black mothers out here trying to raise their kids, or who having kids too also. So I think that his administration is putting a damp on what is a concern for single Black mothers out here. I know he really don't care anyway, so we already know this though. He really don't give a jack about it, but I care though.
Okay. So you rated it pretty high. I think you rated 10. Ken, what about you? Why does this not concern you as much?
I just don't believe that some able-bodied people should be on Medicaid. Welfare and Medicaid aren't meant for people to be raised generations, because I've seen people generations and generations raised on it. I keep reiterating, I came from Alabama. We're not wealthy at all, poor. There shouldn't be a crutch that you walk on forever. And the numbers you have there, I'm not sure about those numbers. If it affects those numbers, maybe I'll be a little bit more concerned about it. I'm not concerned about, but I'm not certain about those numbers.
Okay. All right. I got to move a little bit faster because I got 10 more minutes. In fact, I'm going to ask y'all to give me 12 more. Just give me 2 extra minutes and I'm going to get through this if you can. The second one here, Trump's tariffs are projected to cost middle-income households $22,000 over a lifetime, all while the richest 1% receive tax cuts from Trump's budget bill. Black households are especially vulnerable to the impacts of these tariffs, as they are less likely to have financial cushion. How concerned does that make you on a scale of 0 to 10? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Next one. I'm going to talk about all of them at the end. Just remember that the last one was about Medicaid. Just remember basically what they were about, and I'll talk about all of them at once. The Trump administration has slashed the Minority Business Development Agency's operation in 2025, laying off almost all of its staff and shutting down its ability to help minority businesses. The MBDA, Minority Business Development Agency, helped Black businesses access financing, contracting, and marketing in industries such as food service and cybersecurity, and provide support for formerly incarcerated people. The resource is now largely unavailable to many Black-owned businesses. How concerned does that make you? Minority Business Development Agency no longer operates. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm missing 1. 8. All right. Everybody gave it a 10. One person gave it a 0. All right, next one. The Trump administration issued an executive order to end diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility programs, DEI programs canceled, across the federal government. This order dismantled initiatives that recruited and advanced Black professionals in public service, while erasing our history in public life, eliminating data collection and oversight on racial disparities, and shrinking pathways to opportunity, and obscuring inequities that need to be addressed. How concerned does that make you? One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Last one. Is this the last one? Oh, no, I still got one more. Two more. Trump issued an executive order to eliminate the Federal Department of Education, which protects students' civil rights nationwide, administers billions in funding to support students with disabilities, gives grants for disadvantaged students, and issues student loans. Nearly half of its staff half of the Department of Education staff has been laid off, crippling enforcement of protections against discrimination and unequal resources. Black students now face greater risk of being underserved, mistreated, or denied opportunities in education. How concerned does that make you? Okay, 7 people voted to 10, 1 voted to 0. Last two. The cost of living has not eased in 2025 despite Trump's promises to lower costs. Housing costs are also rising due to shortage of workers and a lack of new homes being built. Black families face greater challenges with lower home ownership rates, fewer protections from unfair housing practices, as the administration has also rolled back federal fair housing enforcement. How concerned does that make you? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7 people voted to 10, 1 person voted to 0. Last one for real this time. This is really the last one. The administration has blocked key provisions for federal student loan forgiveness programs and reinstated higher interest rates for borrowers. This week, the administration proposed a rule that politicizes those that work in public service by restricting forgiveness for those who work in organizations that engage in illegal activities such as aiding and abetting illegal immigration. Black graduates are hit especially hard as they carry the highest average student loans and pay more over time. Delaying wealth building milestones like home ownership, retirement savings, or starting a business. How much does that concern you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 6 people gave it a 10, 1 person 8, 1 person 0. That was my last one. Is that the last one? Please be the last one. All right. Were there any surprises on this list? Anything that surprised you or particularly pissed you off or concerned you about any of the things that you just read? I know you read a lot of it really fast and we didn't get a chance to talk about them individually, but did anything stand out?
I'll say the education, removing those funding, especially for those who we understand a lot of them, need that, they may not function the way we do, but they still need to be, up to par and learn just like everybody else. And removing that, the funds from that educational standpoint, it'll be a domino effect. Majority to everything I'm looking at here, it'll be a domino effect all the way down from the cost of the living to the loan. We won't even get to trying to get a loan for school because we're just removing the education itself. So the education will play a big part for me.
Anything else? Thank you. Anybody else say education was one of the ones that stood out to them the most? Cuts at Department of Education. 1, 2, 3. All right. What else? Did anything else stand out to you that was either particularly surprising or that was particularly concerning besides education cuts?
I believe that for me, it's the Medicare, because there's a component in there of family reproductive rights that oftentimes that we don't understand. Families sometimes do not need to have more children. Personal responsibility from the one in the White House in that chair, all the way to whoever on the corner over there, sometimes gets mixed up. And people need avenues. And I feel like with this Medicare situation, it's almost putting, if you don't have a healthy workforce, you don't have a good workforce. It costs us more to not give people resources. And I don't care about if somebody is sick and been on it 20 years or been on it 20 minutes. I don't care. Get them the help that they need so that the wait times in these emergency rooms, these hospitals get paid, these rural hospitals don't close. I have friends now. She travels 2 hours to go to the doctor because the rural hospitals already don't have enough. And then she requires more. And she's nervous about whether she needs to rent her home out and just move.
I appreciate that, Andrew. Sorry to cut you. I'm just at time.
Go ahead.
Very, very good feedback. Michael, I want to know from you, was there anything, I know there was a lot of examples there. Was there anything that particularly stood out to you that either surprised you because you didn't know or that concerned you when you learned more about it?
No, not at all. Nothing surprised me. I was concerned about everything that was listed. Anything that affects my people, I'm going to be 100% concerned about it. So everything that was listed, I'm concerned about.
Harrison, last one. Thank you, Michael. Is there anything that was particularly surprising or particularly concerning of all of the things that we just listed?
No, because everything that affects me affects my kids for their future. So everything we talked about as Black men on this farm focus group or whatever, affect us all as one. So we need to stick together as one, as far as I'm concerned, because the way this country going, I don't know. Like someone said earlier, Trump messing with the immigrants now, he might start messing with us in the future. So y'all better keep your head up, read, and see what's going on.
All right, these are my last three. I'm gonna put up here. You're gonna answer them real quick, and I'm gonna let you go. This is what I asked for the last 2 minutes. I promise you're gonna be out of here in 2 minutes. Answer these last two questions, and y'all are good to go. I know that you answered this at the beginning. Sometimes over the course of these groups, people change their mind. How much power do you think, political power, do you think you have to make a difference? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. 7, 8. All right, next one. Same thing. You may have answered this question previously. How much collective power do you think Black people have to make a difference? Maybe the answer is the same as it was at the beginning. Maybe it's changed a little bit. Answer to the best of your ability. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And last one. Next year, there's going to be a midterm election in November of 2026. How likely are you to vote in the upcoming election? While you answer this last one, this is the very last question, the very last poll. You should have it up there. Scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to vote? I just need 2 or 3 people to answer what was the most important thing you learned in this focus group, and then we get to go home. 60 seconds. Most important takeaway from this group. Anybody?
We are very nuanced. And I think at the end of the day, we all want the same thing for our families, but we are very nuanced.
One of the things that I found interesting was some of Ken's views a little bit, because I never got to actually meet a Black Trump supporter who kind of seemed very as supportive of him as he is. So it gave me access to a different point of view a little bit. Disagree with most of it, but it was nice to hear a little bit.
But we all disagree very respectfully, and for that I thank you. Last person, what was the most important thing you learned about in this group? What was the biggest takeaway?
I feel in many ways we're the same. I mean, we are the same, right? I mean, we're in the same boat together. We have different stories getting here, but we all must care about this on some level that we signed up in the first place. So we care about something. So let's keep it positive.
I appreciate it, Ken. I kind of feel like I want to give you kind of got a little quiet on us. Do you want to give a final anything that you want to leave these brothers with before we all go home? I think I can't hear you. I don't know if anybody else can.
On social media, I have lots of friends and family across the country that voice the same views that most of these black men here do. I'm a little different, you know, but I've converted a lot of blacks to the Republican side, just so you guys know. But you guys, it'd be hard for me to get you, brothers. So, right? But I enjoyed it though.
Thank you all so much. I hope that this was as painless as possible. I learned a lot from all of you, and I appreciate how respectful we were of each other. And I hope that we can take that into the real world. We all do have, you know, we got the same walk of life. We're just gonna have different ways of getting there.
God bless you all.
That's the fastest hour and a half I ever spent. I mean, yeah,
that did go by fast.
Fast.
Thank you all very much. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.